Good afternoon and welcome to DuPage Medical Group Field for today's CCAC baseball matchup between St. Francis and Olivet Nazarene. We're ready to get started. St. Francis comes to bat first, and the first pitch of the game is smacked out to left field for a base hit. We're off and running today. First pitch at 12:58 p.m. Central Standard Time. Sean Harper has himself a single off of Erin Gustafson, and a great start for the Saints as their leadoff man reaches base. St. Francis comes in with a record of 2-8 to today's game. Olivet Nazarene sits at 2-6. Both teams are playing their conference openers, and they'll play 3 against each other over the next couple of days. John Peterson is the batter. Erin Gustafson fires a strike over the outside corner. Sean Harper is at first base. The left fielder singled to lead things off. Now it's the second baseman, John Peterson, and on deck, right fielder Travis Schoonover. Barring a double play, the DH Kevin Rana will come to hit this inning. Throw over to first base, and the runner gets back in safely. Rest of that St. Francis lineup features catcher Adam Cebulka in the 5 spot. Jonathan Wolfe hits 6th and plays third base. Noah Carraro is at shortstop. Eric Massey hits 8th in center field, and batting 9th is first baseman Foster Heisey. That starting lineup goes against Olivet Nazarene's sophomore left-hander Erin Gustafson out of Rockton, Illinois. Gustafson is making his second start and third appearance this season. His 0-1 pitch to Peterson swung on and missed, and the count is 0-2. Gustafson is 0-1, 2.70 is his ERA in 6 2/3 innings. He's allowed 3 runs, 2 of them earned on 5 hits with 10 strikeouts, only 3 walks. So a solid start to the season for the sophomore. Popped foul and out of play to the right side. Still 0-2 on Peterson, who, speaking of solid starts, is the leader on the Fighting Saints in batting average at .375. He's 12 for 32 so far this season with a couple of extra base hits and 3 runs batted in. Here's the 0-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Got him swinging for the first out of the ball game. Harper remains at first base with 1 down, and Travis Schoonover is the next man up. St. Francis dropped their last 2 games. They took 1 out of 3 over the weekend against Mount Mercy. Olivet Nazarene was inactive over the course of this past week. They're playing for the first time since last weekend. Schoonover stands in. The left-handed hitter takes a ball outside. Schoonover's off to a pretty good offensive start this year. He's hitting .267 this year. He's got 1 run batted in, 5 runs scored. Spent the first several games as the leadoff man, now hitting 3rd in the batting order. He takes a breaking ball high. The count is 2 balls and no strikes. First 2 balls thrown today by Erin Gustafson. Olivet has won 2 of their last 3 games. But again, they've been inactive now for over a week as the throw goes to first to chase Sean Harper back to the bag. Harper was not taking a very big lead over at first base, but he runs well. So Gustafson is keeping a close eye on him. He's stolen 2 bases in 3 attempts so far this season. 1 out, 1 on. Schoonover hits one on a line to second base. It's gloved on a hop by Veldman. He throws to second and gets the force for the second out of the inning. Schoonover safe at first. A hard hit ball to second base. Veldman looked initially like maybe he wanted to play it on the fly and try to double up Harper at first. Didn't really have the opportunity to do that though. It was sinking a little bit too fast, so he played it on a short hop. He bobbled it, but despite the bobble, still had time to throw to second and get the lead runner. Schoonover takes Harper's position at first base. Fielder's choice. And now there are 2 outs with a man at first base for the cleanup hitter, Kevin Rana. And Rana takes the first pitch high and away for ball 1. Kevin Rana this season is hitting .280 in 8 games started. 2 runs batted in. Trying to keep the top of the first inning alive today. Runner on the move on the 1-0 pitch. It misses high for a ball, and there's no throw down to second. Travis Schoonover swipes his 5th bag of the year. And there's a man in scoring position with 2 down. 2-0 count on Rana. The pitch came in off the glove of the catcher Casey Eisenberg. It was a high fastball, a good pitch to throw down to second on. But Eisenberg just couldn't get a clean grasp on it. Popped out of his mitt. And an easy steal for Schoonover as Rana takes ball 3 high. It's 3-0. Catcher Adam Cibulka waits in the on-deck circle. Gustafson in a little bit of trouble here in the top of the first inning, thanks to the leadoff single and a stolen base. Now the Saints have a man at second base, a 3-0 count on their DH. Rana taking on 3-0, watches a strike go by. It's 3-1. Good speed over at second base. Rana figures to be able to score Travis Schoonover on a single. With 2 outs, of course, he'll be going on contact. Here's the 3-1 offering. It breaks into the dirt for ball 4. First walk of the game issued by Gustafson. It's his 4th walk given up this season in 7 innings pitched. And now the Fighting Saints have runners at first and second with 2 down for Adam Cibulka. Cibulka, the catcher, is starting his 6th game this year. He's been successful at the plate, 4 hits and 13 at-bats, 3 RBIs. And a chance to drive in a few more runs right here. Cibulka is a right-handed hitting senior. He swings and misses at the first offering from Gustafson for strike 1. Olivet lines up defensively today with Alex Campy in left field, R.W. Reno in center, Jacob Bultice in right. Across the infield from third to first, Gunnar Pullins, Nathan Moonen, Jordan Veldman, and Tyler Fisher. Casey Eisenberg does the catching. The 0-1 to Cibulka. High fly out to center field, well hit, long run back, R.W. Reno. He's on a dead sprint, and it's over his head. It hits off the base of the fence out in center. 1 run is in. Kevin Rana lumbers around third base. He crosses the plate. It's a 2-run double for Adam Cibulka, and St. Francis strikes first in the top of the first inning. A 2-out, 2-run double for Cibulka, his 5th hit of the year. It's his first extra base hit. And Cibulka's now got 5 RBIs on the season. A leadoff single, a 2-out walk, and the big double for Cibulka. That's what's led to the scoring this inning. Now Cibulka departs to go back to the dugout and get his catcher's gear on for the bottom of the inning. Dolan Nicholson comes on as the courtesy runner. The batter is Jonathan Wolfe. Wolfe, the sophomore infielder, takes a strike from Gustafson. Jonathan Wolfe is in his 2nd year in the program out of Kalamazoo, Michigan. Off to a .235 start at the plate this year. He chases one downstairs again. It's 0-2. No extra base hits, no RBIs yet this season for Wolfe. Good speed over at second base with Dolan Nicholson taking his lead. Nicholson came on as the runner after Cibulka's double. Gustafson's 0-2 pitch. Wolfe gets hit on the arm. So on 0-2, Gustafson came within 1 strike of ending the inning, and he plunks Jonathan Wolfe on the upper arm. That's 3 consecutive 2-out base runners. And the Saints are back in business as they look to add to their lead. Trying to put up a big number on Olivet before the Tigers even come to bat for the first time. After the leadoff single, it looked like Gustafson was going to get out of the inning unscathed. After getting a strikeout and a groundout, Noah Carraro takes strike 1. But with 2 outs and a man at first base, we saw a steal, a walk, a double, and now a hit by pitch. And the trouble continues for Gustafson. Here comes the 0-1, lefty to righty. Carraro flails and misses, strike 2. For the 2nd time this inning, Gustafson is 1 strike away from getting out of it. Angel Sandoval waits in the Fighting Saints dugout down the third baseline. He'll be the starting pitcher today for the Saints. The 0-2. Lined up the middle. That's a base hit for Carraro. Dolan Nicholson around third base. The throw comes in from center field. It's up the line. Nicholson slides across the plate, and it's 3-0. 4 consecutive 2-out base runners for the Fighting Saints. Jonathan Wolfe pulls up at second base. Noah Carraro has a single. He's at first. And it's a 3-0 ball game. For Carraro, RBI number 2 this season. This is exactly what happened against St. Francis yesterday. They lost 15-3 against Mount Mercy, and 12 of the 15 runs were scored with 2 outs. Now St. Francis is turning around and doing the same thing to Olivet Nazarene. coming up with clutch 2-out hits. Eric Massey hits a foul ball to the right side for strike one. Massey is a freshman outfielder, making his 6th start of the season today. He's batting .133 thus far, 2 for 15. One of his 2 hits was a home run. Gustafson has gotten ahead of just about everybody in this first inning. Hasn't been able to put him away. The ball's popped foul down the right field line, out of play. 0-2. In fact, he hasn't missed the strike zone once since walking Kevin Rana on 5 pitches. I take that back. He was 0-2 on Jonathan Wolfe, and then he hit him. So he hasn't missed much in this first inning, but when he has missed, it's been very costly. 0-2 on Massey. Line to the third base side, inside the line, and just out of the reach of the diving Gunnar Pullins. Jonathan Wolfe scores. Noah Carraro is going to try to score, and he makes it in without a play. It's a 2-run double for Eric Massey, and the first inning route continues for St. Francis. 5 2-out runs have scored in the top of the first. That time, Wolfe and Carraro came in on Eric Massey's 2-bagger. First double of the season, RBIs number 2 and 3 for Massey. And now the number 9 batter, Foster Heisey, allows the Saints to have batted around. Again, there were 2 outs with a man at first base, and Erin Gustafson looked like he was sharp enough to finish off the inning pretty safely. Kevin Rana came up, drew a 5-pitch walk, then Adam Cebulka hit a 2-run double. Jonathan Wolfe was hit by an 0-2 pitch. Noah Carraro singled on an 0-2 pitch, and Eric Massey doubled on an 0-2 pitch. So the last 3 batters have all reached on 0-2 counts. Now it's Foster Heisey, 3 for 28 so far this year. Couple of homers, 3 runs scored. Another man in scoring position. Heisey takes a slow breaking ball from Gustafson, over for a strike. It's 0-1. It's been a long top half of the first inning for the team in brown. St. Francis playing as the visitors today on their home field. The 0-1 outside for a ball. The count is even. Olivet Nazarene in yellow with purple caps is the home team. These 2 teams will play again tomorrow in a home game for St. Francis on this same field. Foster Heisey lifts it into left center field, tailing away from Reno, who lunges forward and can't pull it in. Another base hit for the Fighting Saints as Massey crosses home plate. An RBI single for Foster Heisey, and the score is 6-0. Good effort that time from Reno. He had a long way to run. That ball just kept tailing further and further away from him. In the end, he reached out as far as he could and just couldn't quite make the play. That's 3 consecutive hits for St. Francis. They've got 5 hits in the inning. One of them from Sean Harper, who bats for the second time. Harper takes ball 1 inside. That's the first time that Gustafson has missed the zone on the first pitch in the last 6 batters. But the previous 5 all reached, so maybe it's a better start for him. Swing and a miss. It's 1-1. Harper jumped on the first pitch of the game and hit a sharp line drive out to left field for a single. He is not one of the 6 men to have scored this inning. He was caught out at second base on a fielder's choice. This time he pops it up shallow center field. Backing up is the second baseman Veldman, and Veldman makes the grab to retire the side, but not before St. Francis sends 10 men to the plate. They score 6 runs on 5 hits and leave 1. On our way to the bottom of the first inning, Olivet Nazarene will come to bat for the first time, trailing 6-0. Bottom of the first inning, St. Francis has jumped out to a big lead on Olivet Nazarene. Our score is 6-0 after the top half of the inning. Now Angel Sandoval takes the mound to try to put up a shutdown inning for the Fighting Saints, as his first pitch is swung on and missed for strike one on Gunnar Pullins, the third baseman. It's Pullins and then the second baseman Jordan Veldman due up third this inning. First baseman Tyler Fisher. I'll get to the rest of the lineup in just a moment. Pullins checks his swing and foul tips it. Strike two. Batting cleanup, shortstop Nathan Moonen. Number 5 batter is right fielder Jacob Boltice. Hitting sixth, designated hitter Braden Payne. Casey Eisenberg is the catcher. R.W. Reno bats eighth in center field, and hitting ninth, left fielder Alex Campy. Gunnar Pullins strikes out swinging a 3-pitch putdown for Angel Sandoval, and a good start for the St. Francis right-hander. Sandoval is a junior out of St. Lawrence High School. He's making his third start and fourth appearance of this season. He's 0-1 with a 5.63 ERA and 8 innings pitched. He's allowed 5 runs on 5 hits, 8 strikeouts, and 1 walk. His first pitch to Veldman misses for his first ball of the game, 1-0. Kind of amazing numbers for Angel Sandoval. He's only allowed 5 hits and 1 walk in 8 innings. That ball is grounded up the middle and out to center field. A base hit for Veldman. First base runner for Olivet comes with 1 out in the bottom of the first inning. They trail 6-0, but they're trying to start a first inning rally of their own after St. Francis was just able to put up a big number in the top half of the inning. Typically, though, for any pitcher, if you've given up only 6 base runners in 8 innings, your ERA is probably going to be below 2 or so. For Sandoval, coming in was 5.63, so he's run into some bad luck in his first couple of starts. Trying to get back into it now in conference play as he faces Tyler Fisher and throws to first base before the first pitch to Fisher. This conference series is an island in the middle of the non-conference season. Both teams will return to CCAC play more permanently in a couple of weeks. Fisher awaits the first pitch, and he takes it high for ball 1. Tyler Fisher, the first baseman for Olivet, is hitting .280 on the season. He's got 1 home run, and he leads the ball club with 7 RBIs. One of only 3 players for Olivet to have started each of their first 8 games coming into today. Fouled straight back. Count is 1-1. Jacob Boltice, who's in the hole right now, has also started all 8. And Jake Biscailus, who is not in the lineup in this one, had previously started every game as well. But early on this year, Jeff Mulliken has flipped around his lineup several times, giving a lot of different players some playing time early. Throw to first base. Veldman is back in. Angel Sandoval is being very careful with Veldman over at first. Jordan Veldman does have 1 stolen base this year. Not going here. It's a strike over the outside corner. Sandoval is ahead of Fisher. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1 on, 1 out. 6-0 St. Francis in the bottom of the first. Sandoval gets the sign from Adam Cebulka, righty to righty. The 1-2. Strike 3 called over the outer edge. Fisher doesn't like the call. May have thought it was up or perhaps outside, but he does go down looking. Second strikeout of the first inning for Angel Sandoval, and like his counterpart Erin Gustafson, Sandoval gets to face the cleanup batter with 2 outs and a man at first base, trying to get out of the inning. St. Francis followed that up, a 2-out with a man at first situation with 6 consecutive base runners, scoring 6 runs. So Sandoval has seen firsthand he's got a long way to go before getting out of this inning. And the batter now is Nathan Moonen. Moonen's hitting .269 this year, 3 runs batted in. He swings at the first pitch and lifts it foul to the right side. Out of play, strike 1. Olivet coming into today 2-6 record, but they've only been outscored by 8 total runs. So they've kept games close, even if they haven't been able to finish them off with a lot of consistency early in the year. Runner goes. The pitch is taken for a ball. Throw to second base is in time. The tag's applied, and Veldman is out number 3. So the inning comes to a close. Olivet gets a single, but thanks to a caught stealing, they don't leave anybody on base, and the cleanup batter, Nathan Moonen, will lead off the second in a little bit. When we return, we'll have the top of the second inning, with St. Francis leading Olivet Nazarene 6-0. Swing and a miss from John Peterson as we get underway in the top of the second inning. 0-1. Erin Gustafson trying to settle down on the mound for Olivet after a shaky first inning in which he saw 6 runs score, all of them earned against him. And misses for a ball, 1-1. St. Francis had 5 hits in that first inning. They also drew a walk and had a batter hit by a pitch. Called strike over the outside corner, 1-2. Peterson did not get a hit. He did not reach base, one of only 2 players in the 9-man lineup who did not reach base. He flies this ball high in the air, shallow right field. Coming in is Jacob Boltice, and he makes the catch for out number 1. I guess technically speaking, Peterson is the only man who didn't reach base in the first inning for St. Francis. Travis Schoonover also went 0 for 1 in the inning, but he was aboard on a fielder's choice. He also stole a base and was a big part of that 6-run, 2-out rally. Schoonover takes the first pitch, curveball over the outside corner, strike 1. Gustafson quickly back into the windup. Strike 2, that time a fastball over the outside corner. He continues to get ahead of hitters. Very few good hitters counts in this game so far. Ball outside, 1-2. St. Francis, though, has been great with 2 strikes. 3 different players reached base from behind in the count with 2 strikes in the first inning. Fouled away, still 1-2. 1 out, nobody on. Kevin Rana is in the on-deck circle for St. Francis. Fighting Saints are playing their 4th game in their last 3 days. Swing and a miss, strike 3. The ball down in the dirt, but Eisenberg applies the tag. And that's the second strikeout for Erin Gustafson. He's starting to settle in. He's retired 3 in a row, going back to the last man in the first inning. And he'll try to make it 4 in a row with a perfect frame, going against Kevin Rada, who walked in the first inning. Ball 1, low and in. When all is said and done this week, St. Francis will have played 7 games over 5 days, going from Saturday to Wednesday without having one off. Ball high, 2-0. Doubleheader today, including this 7-inning game 1 and a 9-inning game 2. Foul tipped. It's 2-1. Adam Cebulka's in the on-deck circle. He bats only if Rada reaches base. Fighting Saints DH walked in the first inning. He's ahead in the count again here. Gustafson trying for a very quick inning after a lengthy first. paints the outside corner on a good breaking ball. The count is 2-2. It's now 1 strike away from ending the inning. Can't get Rana to bite on that one. Low and outside. Count goes full. Kevin Rana is the only man who's even seen so much as a 3-ball count today against Erin Gustafson. He walked his last time up. Position perhaps to do so again. The payoff pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Back-to-back Ks for Gustafson. He retires the side in order in the second. A nice bounce-back inning for the sophomore lefty. We'll head to the bottom of the second. 6-0 St. Francis. Nathan Moonen was in the batter's box to end the first inning when Jordan Veldman was caught trying to steal second base. So Moonen gets a fresh count and a new start to this at bat as he leads off the second. Moonen, Boltice, and Payne due up against Angel Sandoval, whose first pitch is swung on and missed for strike 1. Nathan Moonen, once again, a .269 hitter. 1 home run, 3 RBIs this year, batting with the bases empty. He rests his red bat atop his shoulder and awaits the 0-1 offering. Ground ball to the right side. John Peterson gets himself in front of it, fields cleanly, and throws out Moonen at first base. 4-3 on the putout. And a good start to the inning for Angel Sandoval, who's retired the leadoff man now, back-to-back frames. 6-0 St. Francis on the strength of a big 2-out rally in the top of the first. Erin Gustafson settled in nicely with a 1-2-3 second inning, which makes it all the more important for Angel Sandoval to keep at the pace he was on in the first inning. Saints can't count on continuing to build on this lead. They'll rely on their pitchers to hold down Olivet the rest of the way. Strike 1 called on Jacob Boltice. Right fielder Boltice, a junior from not too far from here, Tinley Park, Illinois. Takes the ball high. Count is 1-1. He's hitting .276, 5 RBIs, 8 hits and 29 at bats. All 8 have been singles. He'll take anything he can to get on base here as he fouls one off of his foot for strike 2. Count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Another beautiful sunny day today. Temperatures right around 50 degrees, just a little bit cooler than it was yesterday, but again, picture perfect. You can see down the lines the lawns that surround foul territory. Grass is not quite alive yet. Ball up and in, 2-2. That's the beauty of the artificial turf, where the grass is always green. Might as well be July just to look out over the field right now. There's some trees without leaves out beyond the left field wall, but other than that, ball up and in, 3-2. 1 out, nobody on. Full count on Boltice with Payne waiting in the on-deck circle. Angel Sandoval has retired 3 of the first 4 men he's faced. Trying to make it 4 out of 5 on the payoff pitch. And he does. Got him swinging for strike 3. That's the 3rd strikeout of the ballgame already for Angel Sandoval. He's now got 11 strikeouts in 9 2/3 innings pitched this season. And it brings Braden Payne to the bat with nobody on base, 2 down. Payne is making just his 2nd start of the season. He's had a few pinch hitting appearances as well. 2 for 7 on the year. He's got a pair of RBIs. Takes a heater for strike 1. Sandoval gets the sign in. He's into the windup for the 0-1 pitch. Fly ball out to left field, sending Sean Harper back, but Harper gets under it and makes the catch. The inning is over. 1-2-3 go the Tigers in the 2nd inning, and we head to the 3rd. Big lead for St. Francis at 6-0. Two innings down. We've got 5 to go here in game 1 of the doubleheader. Adam Cebulka, Jonathan Wolfe, Noah Carraro are due up for the Fighting Saints, who are trying to extend a 6-0 lead over Olivet Nazarene. Cebulka is 1 for 1 with a 2-run double. He got the scoring started. And here he swings unsuccessfully at the first pitch for strike 1. He doubled to straightaway center field. Right off the bottom of the fence. Nearly 400 feet away. Takes outside, 1-1. Drove in his 4th and 5th runs this season. And that kick-started a 2-out rally. The next 4 men also reached. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Erin Gustafson, coming off of a very successful freshman campaign, has gotten off to a slow start here as a sophomore, making his 2nd start of the season. Ball's foul-tipped by Cebulka, still 1-2. Making his 2nd start of the year today, and has not gone the way he'd like, but he has shown since that raucous first inning some of the stuff that makes him so impressive. He's retired the last 4 batters he's faced, 2 of them on strikes. There's a wild one to the backstop, and the count evens up on Cebulka, 2-2. Jonathan Wolfe, Noah Carraro are due up this inning, and if anybody reaches, Eric Maffey will bat for the 2nd time. Lefty to righty, the 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. 3 straight strikeouts for Gustafson. 5 in a row retired overall by the southpaw, and that brings Jonathan Wolfe up with 1 out and nobody on. Wolfe was hit by an 0-2 pitch back in the 1st inning. That was a critical moment for Gustafson. It looked like he was on the verge of getting out of the inning. Ball outside. 2 runs were already in at the time. But he had Wolfe no balls and 2 strikes, and he was 1 strike away from going back to the dugout down only 2 runs. He plunked Wolfe, and then everything spiraled out of control. That one drops into the zone for strike 1. The count is even. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Looking for his 4th consecutive strikeout. Gustafson deals, and it's hit in the air. Center field routine for R.W. Reno. He shields his eyes from the sun, makes the catch, 2 down. So now 6 consecutive batters have been retired. That snaps the string of 3 consecutive strikeouts. But still a good run here for the Tigers left-hander, and he'll face Noah Carraro with 2 outs and nobody on base, looking for his 2nd straight 1-2-3 inning. Carraro is 1 for 1. And an RBI single in the first inning. He drops a bunt down the third base line here, and just a little bit foul. Looked like a good bunt off the bat. There was no chance that they were going to make a play on him at first base. It hugged that line for about 30 feet and then just trickled foul. So the count is 0-1 on the Saints shortstop. 2 outs. Nobody on base. Carraro retrieves his bat, and he'll dig back into the right side of the box. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Strike call over the outside corner. 0-2. Gustafson throwing nothing but strikes here lately. The 0-2 offering. Swung on and missed. 5th strikeout of the game. 4 of the last 5 batters have been victims, and now 7 straight have been retired overall. But as we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning, St. Francis still has the big lead at 6-0. Bottom of the order due up for Olivet Nazarene in the bottom of the 3rd inning. They trail St. Francis 6-0. And the catcher Casey Eisenberg leads things off. Swings to the first pitch and lifts it into shallow right center. Schoonover comes in. Peterson backs up. He's called off by the charging right fielder. Schoonover makes the grab, and that's out number 1. Good start to the inning for Angel Sandoval. 1 pitch, 1 out. It brings up the number 8 hitter, R.W. Reno. Sandoval has faced the minimum through 2 1/3. He has allowed 1 hit. Jordan Veldman singled up the middle back in the first inning, but he was caught stealing. Reno gets his first chance at bat, hitting just 167 so far this year. He's 3 for 18, but he has scored 5 runs, so he's found his way on base at times as he takes a strike. It's 0-1. Reno's been able to draw a couple of walks. He's been hit by a few pitches. His on-base percentage is above 300, despite the average well under the Mendoza line. Strike over the outside corner, 0-2. Reno is a senior, a left-handed hitting center fielder. He's behind in the count. Sandoval's 0-2 offering. Grounded to the right side. Picked up by Peterson. The throw to first is in time. 2 up, 2 down in the 3rd. Sandoval's working quickly now. He's working efficiently. He's recorded 6 consecutive outs, the last 3 of which have been on a total of 6 pitches. And now he'll try for his shortest inning yet, facing Alex Campy with 2 down and nobody on. Campy is a .300 hitter, batting at the bottom of the order for first-year head coach Jeff Mulliken. He bunts it back to the pitcher's mound. Backhanded stop by Sandoval to throw to first just in time. And the inning is over. Good play by Sandoval. It wasn't a terrible bunt by Campy. He would have liked it a little bit closer to the third baseline. But Sandoval made a nifty maneuver on it in order to pull it in, make the quick throw to first base. And it's a 1-2-3-5 pitch inning for the junior Angel Sandoval. He's retired 8 of the first 9 batters he's faced. As we go to the 4th, 6-0 St. Francis. Top of the 4th inning in Joliet. It's 6-0 St. Francis. Saints offense got off to a blistering start. Erin Gustafson has neutralized them since the first. Eric Maffey steps in and takes strike 1. Maffey brought home 2 of the 6 first inning runs on a double. He also scored 1. The number 8 batter in St. Francis' lineup ropes a single out to left center field. He's 2 for 2, and that snaps a string of 7 in a row set down by Erin Gustafson. Nice game so far for Maffey, the freshman outfielder who had been a little bit slow to get going on the offensive side. Just 2 hits in his first 15 at-bats. He's got 2 hits in 2 at-bats today. Good speed aboard for Foster Heisey at the bottom of the lineup. He swings at the first pitch. It's a sharp liner to second. Dropped by Veldman, who flips to second for 1. Over to first. That's a double play. A hard hit ball by Foster Heisey, and that ends up hurting him. As it got on Veldman in a hurry, Veldman tried to make the catch on the fly. It popped out of his glove, and frankly, I'm not sure he didn't drop that one intentionally. He may have let it roll out of his glove to ensure that he could get a double play instead of getting just the 1 out, because it dropped very smoothly right in front of him through to second base and started the 4-6-3 double play. Now Sean Harper grounds it to third base, picked up by Gunnar Pullins. The throw to first is in time. So the inning began with a single, but Gustafson ends up getting out of it on just 4 pitches. He's gotten into a groove. The score remains 6-0 St. Francis halfway through this thing. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Top of the order for Olivet Nazarene. Bottom of the fourth inning. 6-0 St. Francis leads as Gunnar Pullins leads things off. Swings at the first pitch and wraps it on the ground to third. Nice work by Jonathan Wolfe smothering that ball. He throws to first for the quick out. Both pitchers are throwing strikes right now, and so both teams' hitters are looking to jump early in the count. We've seen some quick outs over the last few innings. Angel Sandoval has set down the last 5 men that he's faced on a grand total of 8 pitches. Strike one called on Jordan Veldman, the only man to reach base today for Olivet. Veldman singled back in the first inning, but then was caught trying to steal second. He's 1 for 1, but he's behind in the count here, 0-1. He swings and grounds it right to the shortstop. Noah Carraro throws over to first, 2 away. Another couple of quick outs for Sandoval. He's now retired 9 in a row. And he's gotten 10 of the 11 batters he's faced overall. He struck out Tyler Fisher back in the first inning. 3 strikeouts so far in the game for Sandoval. You got Fisher looking for the second out of the first. Now he faces him for the second time with 2 outs and nobody on in the bottom of the fourth inning. Fisher takes a ball in the dirt, 1-0. St. Francis has the big lead. They scored all of their runs in the first inning. You just cut out the top of the first. This has been an outstanding pitcher's duel so far today. 1-0, righty to righty. Taken for a strike. That ball 1 thrown to Fisher was the first ball thrown by Angel Sandoval since he went to 3-2 on Jacob Bultheis back in the second inning. Eventually struck him out. Strike over the outside corner, 1-2. He had thrown 11 consecutive strikes and hadn't missed the zone on 6 straight hitters. 1-2 on Fisher. He grounds it to second base. John Peterson throws to first. 3 up, 3 down. All of them on groundouts, each to a different infielder. 5-3, 6-3, 4-3, and another quick inning for Angel Sandoval. We're going to the 5th with 3 innings still to play. Our score is St. Francis 6, Olivet Nazarene 0. Top of the 5th inning here in Joliet, DuPage Medical Group Field. It's the home field of Fighting Saints of the University of St. Francis, but today is a home doubleheader for Olivet Nazarene. John Peterson swings the first pitch of the inning, rolls it weakly down the right side, picked up by Gustafson, who flips it over to first. Nicely done for the first out of the inning. 4 outs have been recorded on the last 3 pitches thrown by Erin Gustafson. 3 straight guys have put the ball in play on the first pitch. One of them was a double play, and then back-to-back single ground outs. Peterson is now 0 for 3 in the game. And the batter is Travis Schoonover. Schoonover is 0 for 2. He reached on a fielder's choice and scored in the first inning. Struck out in the second inning. First pitch to the left-handed hitting right fielder is dropped down the third base line on a bunt. It rolls foul. And that's strike 1. Back in the first inning, Erin Gustafson retired 2 of the first 3 batters he faced, but then he walked Kevin Rana and then started A chain reaction in which 6 consecutive men reached base, all with 2 outs. Fighting Saints scored 6 runs, and it's been quiet ever since. Fouled back to the right side. It's 0-2. Catchers have been pretty much superfluous lately in this game. The last few innings, just about every pitch has been put in play or into foul territory. There's a ball in the dirt and got him on the foot. Schoonover hit by the pitch. Second batter that Gustafson has plunked today, and St. Francis has a man on. That'll put a little pressure on the sophomore pitcher. Didn't bother Gustafson in the 4th inning when the leadoff man reached on a single. The very next pitch resulted in a double play. Saints trying to extend their lead here in the top of the 5th inning. Kevin Rana swings at the first pitch and grounds it to third. Throw to second is there for a force, and it's the second out of the inning. Not quite able to turn this one into a next pitch double play after Schoonover reached base, but they are able to get the lead runner. There was no relay throw made to first. It's a 5-4 putout, a fielder's choice. Schoonover is out. Rada safe at first, and the batter is Adam Cebulka. Cebulka's 1 for 2. He struck out swinging his last time up. One of 5 strikeouts in the game for Gustafson. Misses outside on a breaking ball, 1-0. Back in the first inning, though, Cebulka's hit is the one that got the scoring started. A 2-out, 2-run double. That scored Schoonover and Rada. Lefty versus righty. Line drive into center field. Reno charges, but has to play it on a hop. It's a base hit for Adam Cebulka, and there are 2 men on base. Kevin Rada stops at second. Cebulka now 2 for 3 in the game. His hot start to the season continues. He's now 6 for 16 on the season. 5 RBIs already for the catcher. And Dolan Nicholson checks in as the courtesy runner at first base. Cebulka goes back to get his catcher's gear on. So Rada's at second. Nicholson is at first. Jonathan Wolfe is in the batter's box. Scoring chance here for St. Francis. They already lead by 6. Wolfe takes strike 1. Jonathan Wolfe was hit by a pitch and eventually scored in the first inning. He flew out to center field in the 3rd. Strike over the outside corner, right at the knees of Jonathan Wolfe. The count is 0-2, so Gustafson gets ahead of another St. Francis hitter. Looking to put away Jonathan Wolfe and end the inning with 2 men left on base. Foul back and out of play. Up into the seats. Still 0-2 on Wolfe. If he reaches, Noah Carraro will bat next. Saints have a relatively comfortable lead right now at 6-0. Trying to tack on a few more for Angel Sandoval, who's now just 9 outs away from wrapping up a victory. Chopper down the third baseline. That's a foul ball. Still no balls and 2 strikes. You take away the first inning, Erin Gustafson's been excellent in this game, but Angel Sandoval's been nearly unhittable, including the first inning. He's only allowed 1 base runner through the first 4 frames. A single for Jordan Veldman back in the first inning. He was caught stealing. So Sandoval has faced the minimum through 4. Wolfe chases one in the dirt for strike 3, and a nice tag there applied by Casey Eisenberg, not allowing him to run down to first. The inning is over. 6th strikeout for Erin Gustafson. He pitches around a single and a hit batter, and St. Francis leaves 2 on base in the top of the 5th. We go to the bottom of the frame, 6-0 in favor of the Saints. 6-0 St. Francis in the bottom of the 5th inning. All 6 runs were scored in the top of the 1st. Olivet has not been able to creep any closer as Nathan Moonen leads things off in the 5th against Angel Sandoval and swings through the first pitch for strike 1. Moonen is 0 for 1 today, grounded out to second base when he led off the 2nd inning. Sandoval has not allowed a hit since a Jordan Veldman single with 1 out in the 1st. 10 straight have been retired. Moonen flies it out to right field, foul and out of play. Count is 0-2. Sandoval into the windup. Next pitch, swung on and missed. Strike 3. Got him swinging on 3 pitches. Strikeout number 4 for Angel Sandoval today. 1 down in the 5th inning. Well, the batter is Jacob Boltice. Defensive change for St. Francis. Joe McGuire is in at first base right now. McGuire, a big hitter for the Fighting Saints last year, has not seen any action yet this season. They're working him back in there today. Jacob Boltice digs in for the 2nd time. Ball high, 1-0. Jacob Boltice struck out swinging in the 2nd inning, and at bat notable in this game because it's the only time that Angel Sandoval has gone to as many as 2 balls on any hitter, let alone 3. Obviously hasn't walked anybody in the game. He's retired 11 in a row. 1-0 pitch, swung on, foul tipped into the catcher's glove for a strike. It's 1-1. I mentioned it right at the top of this appearance for Sandoval. His ERA was not good coming into today, but his overall numbers were excellent. Fouled back, still 1-2. He was giving up fewer than a base runner per inning. Opponents were batting under 200 against him coming in. So the ERA was kind of discordant with the rest of what he's accomplished this year, and today he's been able to put everything together. Strikeouts, no walks, just 1 hit. Fouled off to the right side, still 1-2. One out, nobody on. Bottom of the 5th inning. Olivet is down to their final 8 outs in this game. Still another 9 innings to play after this one is complete, though. 1-2 from Sandoval. Fouled off, out of play. It'll be interesting to see what Brian Mahalik does pitching-wise during Game 2 of today's doubleheader, just because he had his team play 3 games over the weekend against Mount Mercy. He used every one of his pitchers in those 3 games. So there are a number of guys who are available today, of course, who only threw maybe an inning or 2, but not a whole lot of options down there. So Sandoval eating some innings here in Game 1 has been a big benefit. That ball is in the dirt. Check swing for Boltice, and he did not go around. Count goes to 2-2. So it's the 2nd time today that an Olivet hitter has seen as many as 2 balls in an at-bat. They've both been the number 5 batter, who eventually struck out swinging on the 6th pitch of his first at-bat. This will be the 7th pitch of this sequence. Ball upstairs, full count. Braden Payne waits in the on-deck circle. If anybody does reach here in the 5th inning, Casey Eisenberg will bat as well. Sandoval hasn't had to go from out of the stretch in a long time, but the count has gone full on Jacob Boltice. Foul tipped straight back off the screen behind home plate. And we'll see a 9th pitch in this at-bat. This one at-bat is longer than most of the innings tonight from Sandoval. Threw 11 pitches in the first. He threw 10 in the second, and he's thrown fewer than 10 in each of the last 2 innings. Ripped to the left side, a sinking line drive caught by the 3rd baseman Jonathan Wolfe, 2 down. That was far and away the hardest hit ball we've seen from a Tiger bat today, but right to Jonathan Wolfe, who adjusted to it nicely. That was sinking down below knee level. So he had to crouch down himself in order to pull it in, but he was able to scoop it up off the ground to catch it on the fly. 2 down in the inning. Toughest battle between batter and pitcher we've seen today on this side. And there's a sharp liner up the middle. This one is a base hit for Braden Payne. So Olivet finally gets their first base runner since the first inning. Snaps a string of 12 straight retired by Sandoval. Payne is 1 for 2. And Casey Eisenberg will bat with 2 outs and a man at first base. His team trails by 6. Eisenberg, 6-foot-tall catcher from Jacksonville, Florida. In his sophomore season with Olivet Nazarene, he swung at the first pitch his first time up and flew out to right field on what was the first pitch of the 3rd inning. Fouls this one back for strike 1. Eisenberg is 2 for 11 so far this year. Both of his hits are singles. He does have 1 RBI. Ground ball down the 3rd base line, just foul. Eisenberg will have to walk back to the batter's box with an 0-2 count. Braden Payne returns to first base. Payne's single up the middle is just the 2nd hit of the day for Olivet Nazarene. Payne's 3rd hit in 9 at-bats this season. Good offensive start for him. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and the inning is over. 2nd strikeout in the 5th inning for Angel Sandoval. It's his 5th strikeout of the game, and he pitches around the 2-out base hit. We'll head to the 6th. 6-0, St. Francis. Bottom of the order due up for St. Francis in the top of the 6th inning. Noah Carraro leads things off with his team in front 6-0. First pitch is bunted at unsuccessfully for strike 1. Carraro is 1 for 2. He had an RBI single back in the 1st inning, struck out swinging in the 3rd. He'll be followed by Eric Maffey, and then Joe McGuire will get his first at bat of the day after he came on defensively for Foster Heisey at first base last inning. Swing and a miss from Carraro, and Erin Gustafson is quickly ahead of the St. Francis shortstop, 0-2. Looking to make quick work of him. The next pitch is taken outside for ball 1. Gustafson has allowed 6 runs, all of them earned in 5 innings so far today. So it seems wrong to say that he's looked good, but he has for the most part. Ball low, 2-2. His numbers certainly won't at the end of this game, regardless of what happens from here on out. But from the 2nd inning on, he's been brilliant. Only one man has so much as gotten to second base since the end of the 1st. Ball downstairs, full count. Gustafson has missed on 3 straight after getting ahead of Carraro 0-2. So now the full count pitch from the lefty Erin Gustafson. Carraro takes strike 3, and he knew it right away. Outguessed on the breaking ball that time. Gustafson puts away Carraro, back-to-back strikeouts, going back to the end of the 5th inning. He's got 7 now for the game. And the batter is Eric Massey. It's been a good game so far for the freshman outfielder. Massey is 2 for 2. He has singled, doubled, scored a run, and driven in 2. Takes ball 1 below the knees. One and 0. There's a swing and a ground ball to third. A backhanded stop by Gunnar Pullins. The throw across the diamond pulls Tyler Fisher off the bag. And Massey is safe at first. Third time today that he's reached base. One out man aboard for the Fighting Saints. Not an easy play there for Gunnar Pullins. He had to reach to his right and backhand that ball as it came right down the line. Massey runs well, so he had to hurry the throw as well, but did have a chance to set his feet and just did not make an accurate throw to first base. So now Joe McGuire gets to bat with a man at first base and 1 down. McGuire gets his first at bat of the game. He just came on defensively last inning. First at bat of the season for McGuire, who takes a strike. Massey retreats to first base on a snap throw from Casey Eisenberg. 0-1. Gustafson checks the runner to the plate. It's taken for a called strike. Sean Harper waits in the on-deck circle for St. Francis. Leading 6-0, getting late in this game. Throw to first base. Massey takes off. They've got him picked off. Throw down to second is in time. 1-3 to 6 on the putout. It'll go as a caught stealing as Massey never looked back to first base, took off immediately, and Gustafson's strong pickoff move is able to erase the base runner. So that's the third time now. I guess really only the second time. There was a fielder's choice in the fifth. I was going to say it was the third time in the last 3 innings that the Saints have gotten a base runner, and he's been eventually put out. So yeah, technically in the fifth because of the fielder's choice. Schoonover, who was hit by a pitch, was put out, but it didn't erase a base runner. Just switched him out. Ball outside, 1-2. Base is empty, 2 down for Joe McGuire. Trying to extend this 6th inning. He taps it back to the mound. Gustafson fields it cleanly, jogs over to first base, and flips it the last 20 feet or so, retiring McGuire to end the inning. Despite a 1-out base runner, nothing doing for St. Francis in the 6th. We head to the bottom of the frame. Our score, 6-0 St. Francis. Eight, 9, and 1 up for Olivet in the bottom of the 6th inning. They trail 6-0 as RW Reno stands in and takes strike 1. 0 for 1 with a ground out to second base so far in today's game against Angel Sandoval, who has allowed only 2 hits and has faced just 1 over the minimum through the first 5. His 0-1 pitch bounced foul down the first base side. It's a strike, and the count is 0-2 on Reno. Alex Campy is in the on-deck circle. Then it's Gunnar Pullins trying to light a spark in this Olivet Nazarene offense. They trail 6-0. All 6 runs for St. Francis were scored in the top of the first inning. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Angel Sandoval strikes out R.W. Reno to begin the 6th inning. 6 strikeouts in the game now for Sandoval, including 3 of his last 4 outs. And Alex Campy bats with 1 out, nobody on. Leadoff man retired for the 6th straight inning. Campy is 0 for 1. He grounded out to the pitcher to end the 3rd. Campy, a 300 hitter coming in, takes strike 1. Jonathan Wolfe creeps in from third base as the 0-1 pitch is delivered, and it's fouled off to the right side, out of play. 0-2. Both pitchers in today's game have done an astounding job of throwing strikes consistently. This is the 3rd consecutive hitter that Angel Sandoval has gotten ahead of 0-2. Both of the previous 2 were put away on strike 3 on the 3rd pitch. Sandoval's trying to make it 3 straight. Just misses the outside corner. 1-2. Strike out 3 guys on 9 pitches, which he nearly did right there. It's always an impressive feat. When it happens in 1 inning, you talk about it a little bit more, but even over the course of 2. Striking out 2 guys on 6 pitches, then getting ahead of the next one, 0-2. Pretty good itself as Campy takes the ball outside. 2 straight misses off the outside corner, and the count is 2-2. Top of the order to follow. Campy is trying to give them a base runner. He can't do it. He strikes out swinging. 3 straight Ks on the score sheet for Angel Sandoval. 7 strikeouts in the game for the junior ace of the Fighting Saints. And there are 2 outs with nobody on for the leadoff man, Gunnar Pullins. Pullins gets his 3rd at bat of the game. He's 0 for 2. He has struck out, and he's grounded to 3rd, and now he is the last hope for a 6th inning rally for Olivet. Strike 1 called over the outside corner. Angel Sandoval has thrown only 4 first pitch balls today. He's gotten ahead of the other 15 batters he's faced. There's a pop-up, foul ground right side. It appears to be playable for McGuire. He comes in from first base and makes the catch, calling off Sandoval in the process, and it's a 1-2-3 inning. Another 1-2-3 inning for Sandoval. It's his 4th out of 6 total innings today. St. Francis just 3 outs away from a Game 1 victory. They'll come to bat, though, when we come back for the top of the 7th inning. 6-0, Saints on top. Sean Harper, John Peterson, Travis Schoonover, the top of the batting order, are due up for the Fighting Saints against Erin Gustafson in the 7th inning. 4th time up for each man as Harper digs in. Swings the first pitch. It's a looping liner right to the second baseman, and he's out number 1 as Jordan Veldman makes the catch. A good start to the inning for Gustafson. 1 pitch, 1 out. It's the second time today that Gustafson has been able to record the first out of the inning on his first pitch. St. Francis leads by 6. All of their runs came in the first inning. And now they're trying to add a few more for insurance in the last inning as John Peterson stands in. 0 for 3 so far. Peterson takes the first pitch strike. Neither of these teams has yet had a pitcher throw a complete game this year. Both guys are still on the mound right now, though. Ball low and away, 1-1. Peterson entered play today as the leading hitter for St. Francis. He's the only one in this game not to have reached base yet. Ball outside, 2-1. 7 of 9 batters reached safely back in the first inning. Peterson and Schoonover were the only ones who didn't, and Schoonover was hit by a pitch in the 5th. Ball outside, 3-1 on Peterson. Gustafson has just 1 walk today. That was way back in the first inning. It was a hugely important walk, but he hasn't issued one since. Fouled back, 3-2. He has hit 2 batters since then. One of them resulted in a run. 1 out, nobody on. Payoff pitch coming to Peterson. Ground ball to third base. Picked up by Pullins. The throw to first is in the dirt, and it gets away from Fisher. Peterson heads to second base, and St. Francis has a man in scoring position with 1 out. That's the second error in as many innings for Gunnar Pullins. Both times with speedy runners, and he may have just rushed his throw there because Peterson was running full speed down the first base line, but a strong throw would have had Peterson by a full step. Instead, he stands at second base with 1 down for Travis Schoonover, who tries to add to St. Francis's already healthy lead. Schoonover is 0 for 2. He's been hit by a pitch. He's also reached on a fielder's choice and scored a run. Now looking for an RBI. Gustafson steps off the rubber. Schoonover has driven in 1 run this year from the leadoff spot. Hitting third for the second straight game. He takes the ball downstairs. 1 ball, no strikes. Gustafson glances back at Peterson at second base. And he misses low on Schoonover. 2-0. Kevin Rana is on the on-deck circle. St. Francis looking for some late offense to bolster their 6-run lead. Two-0 to Schoonover. Swung on and lifted into left center field. That ball finds the gap, and it scoots all the way to the warning track in between Reno and Campy. Peterson scores. Schoonover loses his helmet as he rounds second base, heading for third. He's in standing up. An RBI triple, and St. Francis leads 7-0. Well, that run, anyway, is unearned against Gustafson, but it's his first blemish since the first inning. He had been on a roll ever since, and I don't know that he's wearing down right now. He hasn't thrown all that many pitches, but just a tough at-bat against Travis Schoonover. And now Kevin Rana steps in with a man at third, and he grounds one up the middle, a base hit, and an RBI for Rana. That makes it 8-0 St. Francis. 2 runs here in the 7th inning. Rana is on base for the second time today. He's got his first hit and first RBI of the game, and it looks like we may see a change. There is a right-hander warming up in the bullpen for Olivet, although he did just start to throw. I don't think he's ready yet. So this is probably more a strategic visit to the mound, and probably more than a strategic visit. There's a chance to give the man down the right field line a little extra time to get loose. Looks like number 29 throwing for Olivet. That would be Alex Dobrzenecki. Being on the mound is done. Erin Gustafson is going to stay in there. 2 runs have scored in the 7th inning. Man at first base with one out. And the batter is Adam Cebulka. Cebulka's had a very nice day at the plate so far, 2 for 3. He has singled, doubled, scored 1 run, and driven in 2 others. Cebulka bounces it down the third base line. A little dribbler picked up by the pitcher Gustafson. The throw to first is wild. Kevin Rana heads to third base. He is around third hard, but he's going to pull up where he is and head back to third base. Adam Cebulka stays at first. I believe that'll be an error on Gustafson, allowing Rana to reach third base, but an infield hit for Cebulka on a little swinging bunt, and it just trickled down the third base line. My initial thought was Gustafson was just going to let it go and hope that it went foul. But he decided to play it, and he actually, I think, would have had Cebulka out at first base on a good throw. But the throw was wild. Fisher had to chase it down around the bullpen, and then allowed Rana to move all the way into third base. It's the second error of the inning. 4th straight base runner for St. Francis, who has 3 consecutive hits. 10 hits now in the game for the Fighting Saints, who came in with a .246 batting average for the season. Jonathan Wolfe swings and misses, strike 1. Olivet came in hitting just .247 for the season. It's tough to gauge batting averages for Midwest teams at this time of the year. They have not had a full off-season of live action. They can hit indoors, but that'll only get you so far, as Wolfe swings and misses 0-2. You're not able to get outside all winter and really swing the bats, and then you go down to the south and you're playing a lot of teams who have been practicing outside for a while. You're going to be a little bit slower to get started. Both of these teams have been. 0-2 on Wolfe. He takes ball 1. Jonathan Wolfe has been hit by a pitch. He's flown out. He's struck out. He has 1 run scored in today's game. He bats with Rana at third, Dolan Nicholson, the courtesy runner, at first, and 1 out in the inning. 2 runs are in so far in the 7th. Wolfe bounces it foul, left side. Still 1-2. Noah Carraro is on deck, waiting to be the 7th hitter of the inning. Gustafson is looking for a ground ball that could potentially get him out of this. Runner goes on the 1-2, swung on and missed, strike 3. No pitch made down to second base. No throw made down to second base. So Nicholson has himself a steal, but Wolfe is out number 2 on the strikeout. 8 strikeouts for Erin Gustafson. 2 outs in the 7th inning, and the batter is Noah Carraro. With that steal, now there are 2 men in scoring position. A base hit could put this game totally out of reach. So he hits it high in the air out to center field. R.W. Reno circles it, gets under, and makes the catch. The inning began with a 1-pitch out. It ends with a 1-pitch out, but in between, 4 men reached base. 2 of them scored, and St. Francis has added to their lead. It's 8-0 as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Angel Sandoval will come out and try to finish it out when we return. Bottom of the 7th inning, 8-0. St. Francis leads Olivet. Tigers have their 2, 3, and 4 batters coming up for the third time each. Jordan Veldman leads things off against Angel Sandoval, who's allowed only 2 hits all game. One of them does belong to the man in the box right now. Veldman's 1 for 2. He singled in the first. And he tries to single up the middle here, but Noah Carraro is able to pick it up on a hop behind second base. He throws him out for out number 1. Nice job by Carraro, covering a lot of ground there on a pretty hard hit ball from Jordan Veldman. 1 away in the 7th. It's now 5 straight retired by Sandoval. He's retired 17 of the last 18. In fact, he's retired 18 out of 20 for the game. So really one streak is not all that impressive because the entire game has been there for him. Tyler Fisher takes ball 1 up and in. Fisher is 0 for 2. He has struck out and grounded out. There's a swing and a high fly into center field. It's deep. Backing up is Eric Maffey at the warning track just in front of the wall. Maffey tries to pull it in and the ball rolls out of his glove, but he's got it. He had it for long enough for the out. Great play made by Maffey for out number 2. A deep fly from Tyler Fisher. Maffey kept tracking it back. He wasn't, it seemed, going at full speed. He was cognizant of where the wall was, and he was able to make that catch so that the collision was soft. He was down on the ground for a little while. The ball did come out of his glove, but he had already had it at that point, and he let it drop. The training staff is coming out to have a look at him. He's waving everybody off. Says that he's fine, but they'll have a look at him anyway. Great play by Maffey to rob Fisher of extra bases for the second out of the inning. And now Angel Sandoval is 1 out away from wrapping it up. Maffey's had a great game overall. Not only has he made the great play there, but he's been on base 3 times today. He's got a run scored and 2 RBIs, a couple of hits. He's been probably the position player of the game. Sandoval, though, has been the real star for St. Francis today, allowing just 2 hits so far over 6 2/3 innings. Nobody for Olivet has made it past first base all game. And he's faced just 1 over the minimum as he tries to give the Fighting Saints a Game 1 victory here before heading into Game 2 of the doubleheader, about a half hour or so following the conclusion of this one, which could be soon. Nathan Moonen is 0 for 2 today with a ground out and a strikeout. Once everybody gets back into the dugout for St. Francis, Moonen will dig in for the 3rd time. First pitch misses for ball 1. It's rare back-to-back first pitch balls from Angel Sandoval. Just the 5th and 6th time he's missed the zone on the first pitch of an at-bat all game. There's a line drive up the middle and out to center field. A base hit for Moonen. Cleanup man for Olivet is aboard. 3rd hit of the game for the Tigers. 3rd time they've had a man on base. As I said before, they've not yet gotten one to second. Jacob Bolteis will try to change that right here. This is the guy that Angel Sandoval didn't want to face this inning. He's had problems putting him away today. Ultimately, he is 0 for 2, but he had a screaming liner his last time up. To cap off a 10-pitch at bat, Jonathan Wolfe just happened to be right in the way of that ball and made the catch. This time he checks his swing and was not able to check it fully. He went around for strike 1. Runner at first base, 2 outs. 0-1 on Jacob Bolteis, the right fielder. He takes a ball outside. 1-1 from Sandoval. St. Francis scored 6 runs in the first inning. Erin Gustafson then settled down. He was masterful for the next 5. Saints got to him again with a pair of runs in the 7th, and that has built their lead up to 8-0. As Bolteis takes a strike over the outside corner, Sandoval is ahead of him 1-2. 1 strike away from putting a bow on this one. Runner at first base is Moonen. Takes his lead, not being held on at first. Sandoval sets for the 1-2. Low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. If Bultice reaches base here, Braden Payne will bat next. Payne is one of the 3 Tigers who does have a hit today. 2-2 pitch. Check swing. He did not go this time. Ball 3. It's the 3rd time today that Angel Sandoval has gone to 3 balls on a hitter. He hasn't walked anybody. All 3 times he's gone to 3 balls, it's been on Jacob Bultice, who's 0 for 2. He struck out on a full count pitch in the 2nd, lined out on a full count pitch in the 5th. Now it's a full count on him in the 7th inning. Nathan Moonen will be off with the pitch. Bultice swings and fouls it away. Still 3-2. I want to do the math on how many pitches Bultice has seen compared to everybody else on the team. I can tell you that he's seen 22 pitches. As a whole, Sandoval, I guess, is somewhere between 70 and 80. Ball 4 downstairs. Sandoval has his first walk of the day. Moonen becomes the first Olivet Nazarene player to reach scoring position today as he moves up to 2nd. And there are 2 on with 2 out for Braden Payne. Braden Payne is 1 for 2 today. He singled in the 5th and was stranded at first base. 72 pitches, that's what Angel Sandoval is at right now. And 23 of the 72 were thrown to 1 guy, so that's about 1/3 of them. Braden Payne swings and misses at the first offering, strike 1. Along with his 5th inning single, Payne has flown out to left field. Here comes the 0-1. Fly ball into right field. Travis Schoonover takes 1 step in, freezes, and makes the catch for out number 3. St. Francis put up 6 runs in the first inning, and they're able to finish it off for the Game 1 victory as Angel Sandoval made those 6 runs hold up. He would have made 1 run hold up. Fighting Saints did add on a couple of late runs to make it an 8-0 final score. And they're able to capture the opener of this 3-game series. They'll play Game 2 of the doubleheader just a little bit after 3 o'clock this afternoon, and then Game 3 of the series coming up tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock. But a great start to this one for the visiting team playing at their home field, St. Francis. We look back over the scoring in this one. Fighting Saints scored 6 times, sending 10 men to the plate in the first inning. All 6 runs were scored with 2 outs. They had a man at first with 2 down. Travis Schoonover stole second base. Then Kevin Rana walked. Both men scored on an Adam Cebulka double. Jonathan Wolfe was hit by a pitch. Noah Carrara hit an RBI single. Eric Maffey a 2-run double. And Foster Heisey scored a run on a base hit. That made it 6-0. Sandoval took the mound in the bottom of the first and was just magnificent. He gave up a single with 1 out in the first inning, but thanks to a caught stealing, he faced the minimum in that inning. And he had faced the minimum all the way into the 5th when Braden Payne became the second base runner of the game for Olivet with a single. All in all, Olivet had just 4 men reach base today, 3 singles and 1 walk. They left 3 men on base and were not able to score as Sandoval threw 7 shutout innings. He walked 1, gave up those 3 hits. No runs, of course. He ended up with 7 strikeouts in the game, and he picks up the victory, improving to 1-1 for the season. The losing pitcher today was Erin Gustafson, who gave up all 8 runs. 7 of them were earned. He allowed 10 hits in today's game. He struck out 8 and walked just 1. He takes the loss, falling to 0-2 for the season. Aside from the first inning, he was very good, but you can't cut the first inning off of the game story, and so it does turn out to not be a very good day for Gustafson, who was touched up again in the 7th. Gave up an RBI triple to Travis Schoonover, an RBI single to Kevin Rada as the Saints put the game on ice in the top of the 7th. Again, 8-0 the final score. Saints improved to 3-8 on the season. They're now 1-0 in conference play. Olivet falls to 2-7 this year. They are 0-1 in the CCAC, but they'll have a chance to jump into the wins column very soon as they'll look for revenge in just about a half hour or so. Game 2 of this doubleheader will be a 9-inning affair, and it's coming to you in about a half hour. Until then, I'm going to step aside, so I'll be back about 30 to 35 minutes with Game 2 of this doubleheader. Until then, Terry Bonadonna signing off for the moment. St. Francis wins the opener 8-0.